Don't know what picture profiles are, or even how and why you should adjust picture profiles? Well, stick around because today, that's what we're talking about. So first of all, I just want to mention that this video was recommended by this guy right here. So a big thanks to this guy for recommending this video. Alright, now let's start this video off by answering this question: what is a picture profile? Picture profiles are preset looks or filters that are burned into your image. And cameras normally already have these presets built into them. However, if you do want to make any adjustments to those picture profiles, you should be able to do that within the camera. And some adjustments that you can make in those picture profiles include changes to the saturation, contrast, and sharpness. And just know that each one of your adjustments that you make to a picture profile will be baked into images that you take in the future. But if you do make any mistakes when you're adjusting your picture profiles, you can always change them later. Alright, so that's my little definition for what picture profiles are. Now let's talk about the preset picture profiles that some cameras have. But before I actually go through the list of preset picture profiles, I want to mention this one thing. Each picture profile preset has a different baseline for each setting. For example, the medium contrast setting for one picture profile could be more contrasty than a different picture profile at that same medium contrast setting. So just keep that in mind if you do end up making any adjustments to one of these presets. By the way, the picture profiles I'm going to talk about in this video are Canon's picture profiles. With that said, the first picture profile we're going to talk about is auto. Now this picture profile is pretty unique, and that's because it automatically applies a picture profile based off of what the camera detects. So the overall look from one image to the next won't be the same. And that leads us into the second picture profile, which is standard. Now standard is the default picture profile on all Canon EOS DSLRs. And what Canon says it looks like is that it has increased saturation, contrast, and sharpening. But I would just call it the typical Canon look. And now for the next picture profile on the list, portrait. Now obviously, in Canon's opinion, this picture profile is going to be best for portraits. However, it's entirely up to you if you want to use this picture profile for portraits or something else. Now how does portrait look in comparison to other picture profiles? Well, Canon states that it makes skin tones and saturation look really good, and it also reduces sharpness for more smooth looking skin. And moving on from that, we have our fourth picture profile, which is landscape. And again, this one's obvious. Canon thinks this is going to be best for landscape photos. But how does this one look? Well, apparently it makes blues and greens pop more, and it also has stronger sharpening to pull out those details in landscape photos. So if you're looking for a picture profile with highly saturated blues and greens and a lot of sharpness, then this one could be the one you're looking for. Alright, and now for the next picture profile, which is fine detail. If you're taking any macro images or you just want to pull a lot of detail out of your subject, then this one is probably the best one. And that's because it emphasizes the gradation of tones and detail. Moving on to the next one on the list, we have probably my favorite picture profile that Canon offers, which is neutral. And this one's my favorite just because it gives you a little bit more leeway when it comes to editing and post-production. So if you plan on editing your photos or videos, then neutral is probably the best one. And that's because it has a lower contrast and saturation than standard, creating a duller look. And that leads us into the next picture profile, which is faithful. And this one's a little similar to neutral. However, it makes colors in photos look the most realistic and how they should look to the naked eye when shot under normal daylight conditions. And that gets us to the final picture profile preset that Canon offers, which is monochrome. Now there's nothing fancy about this one, it's just black and white. But this picture profile does include a few optional black and white contrast filter effects, such as yellow, orange, red, and green. And it also has toning effects like sepia, blue, purple, and green. Now that was the final picture profile preset that Canon has in their cameras, but they do also have 3 user-defined picture profiles as well. And with these 3 user-defined picture profiles, you can go into Canon's picture style editor and create your own picture profiles. I've never used Canon's picture style editor to create my own picture profile, but I do have a way of coming up with your own custom picture profiles that you can create within your camera. Possible foreshadow for my next video. Alright, so anyways, let's create our own custom picture profile within our camera. Alright, so here we are with our Canon camera, and this is how we're going to create our own custom picture profiles within the camera. So first of all, we're going to want to make sure that we're in photo mode, and as you can see by the dial right here on the top, we are. Next, we're going to go into the menu and go over to the red camera settings section, and then go over to find picture style and hit select. Now we're going to go down to neutral and hover over that, and then hit the info button up here next to menu. Now that we're here, we can go through all these settings and create our own custom picture profile. The first thing you're going to want to do is lower the sharpness to 0. So go through all the sharpness settings and set them all to 0. Then go down to contrast and do the same, and the same with saturation as well. But we're going to leave the color tone where it's at. Now that we're all done messing with the settings, we can hit menu and then hit select on the neutral picture profile that we just customized. Now you have a custom picture profile, perfect for capturing the most dynamic range within your photos and editing your photos. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this one and you want to see more videos about photo and video, subscribe by clicking right there. Thanks for watching, and always remember to capture great moments. Peace.